Balance. Where is your balance? Do you feel your life is unfolding with balance, your days unfolding with balance? And when you look about the planet, do you feel that it is balanced? To do a balancing act, one must have great precision. One must have great knowledge of dynamics, whatever tools they are working with. A balancing act. One's walking a tightrope. One's perhaps spinning plates on wooden pegs. And isn't life sort of like that, that one will get all their plates spinning in a row, all lined up so beautifully well. And just as they finish with the last plate to be spun with great precision, only to look back and see the first one landing on the floor, then the second, and they run back and forth to try to keep all the plates in the air, all spinning. Isn't life like that at times? One's wanting all things to be with ease, in balance. Every aspect of one's, we want to say, life, world, all in balance. And it doesn't take long for one to find something that isn't balanced, that is wobbly. And before they can fix it, if you will, before they can adjust it, it has fallen on the ground into shattered pieces. We know that doesn't sound too uplifting. What we are pointing out is, where is your balance? And are you, if you will, mindful of all aspects of life? So one might say, I've always had a grand career. I've always enjoyed my career, but my love life, that was never successful. I was never successful in love. Another may say, I was so successful in love, but I could never hold a job. Just could not seem to embrace the responsibility, always a challenge. And we're not speaking that life is about love and career. Balance in all things. Balance, laughter and tears, heartache and joy. When does the balance tip for the understanding of the great experience, if you will? So many questions to ponder, and we are eager to share. We are eager to share. In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. The planet, is it balanced? Mother Nature, is it balanced? Living your day, is it balanced? And why are one seeking balance? Why are ones desiring balance? And when you see the contrast, when there is contrast, is there balance? Think about it. Or are they two separate things, if you will? So contrast, we talk about the contrast of something. Tears, laughter. heartache, a full heart. Great sorrow, joy, enlightenment, if you will. That is contrast. That is contrast in emotions. And ones tend to try and balance that contrast. One doesn't want more sorrowful tears than joyous tears, if you will. One wants the experience of being joyous far greater than not. When ones look into the world to see the contrast, so let us talk about the contrast, cruelty to healing, cruelty and nurturing, cruelty and caring. For isn't it true that one could turn on the news at any time and hear about the cruelty to others, the cruelty to animals? And ones could also understand and see and hear, perhaps not even on the news, but from another source, that there are ones preventing cruelty to humans, ones that are preventing cruelty to animals, ones that are preventing cruelty to planet Mother Earth. Would one say that is balance? Does that feel like a balance? Well, if ones weren't cruel to others, be it an animal, mankind, then wouldn't have the opposite, wouldn't have the contrast of one's extending deep healing, one's extending deep care, one's extending deep compassion. So the question remains, do they, we don't want to say feed off one another, but are they both needing to be there for the balance? Question to ponder. So let us present it this way. Understanding, we're talking about two separate avenues here. We talked about the contrast in emotions. One's personal world, when one gets caught up in what they don't want, is always born what they do want, always the contrast. So in the knowing of what one doesn't want, becomes a knowing of what one truly wants. So that is contrast. In emotions, when ones are feeling angry, frustrated, resentful, in contrast, ones could feel joyous, peaceful, contentment. That is contrast. So when we speak about cruelty to any one thing, harsh judgment on any one thing, and ones come in to heal, is it in the same, we want to say same realm? Is it the contrast that is needed? And the answer is no. Cruelty is never needed to have compassion be born, to have healing be born. Can mankind do without cruelty? Absolutely yes. Absolutely yes. And the ones that provide the care, the comfort, the healing, the compassion, the kindness, would that same one present it all the time anyway? And the one that is extending cruelty, beating upon another, there's hundreds, way too many avenues for cruelty. Way too many avenues, from mild to extreme. From mild to extreme. Ponder. What would the world look like without cruelty? Ponder. What would your world look like without harsh judgment and condemnation? Ponder. What would the animals on the planet be living if there wasn't cruelty? Ponder. 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 Ask the questions to oneself. So here you are, a compassionate being, truly, deeply compassionate towards yourself. We're speaking higher consciousness. Compassionate towards yourself, compassionate towards others, compassionate towards Mother Earth and all Mother Earth holds and provides. Kind to oneself, kind to others, kind to Mother Earth and all that is provided. Would one then of higher conscious mind, if you will, a higher conscious being is one that is truly tapped in, understanding the brilliance of all, knowing the oneness. Higher consciousness would never allow harshness or cruelty. So, if ones are experiencing living higher consciousness, would they sort of have nothing to do if there wasn't anything to fix? What would they do? Who would they take to task, if you will? Who would they heal if there wasn't healing to be had? It sounds as though it is going around in circles, but all we are doing is providing a space of time to allow ones to ponder. To allow ones to ponder. So when it comes to cruelty, when it comes to condemnation, harsh judgment, harsh words, again, mild to extreme, planet Earth, all beings embraced in the oneness of Mother Earth, would live in higher consciousness. Think about it. And in all, if cruelty was wiped out, if war was wiped out, if all that causes pain to another, gone. No one fighting over any one thing. No one claiming ownership to any one thing, whether it be people or land. And fill in the blank, many, many things. What if the planet was peaceful? What if each being held such high consciousness, such grand compassion, that the planet became a peaceful planet? Now, ones will challenge this and say, yes, but where then is the balance? Where is the contrast? Where is the contrast? And what we want to provide is, this is one area that it does not need contrast. It is one area that cruelty and harsh judgment or harshness to another is not necessary at all. That is higher consciousness. So when ones are walking around in the world of, we want to say light and love, saying light and love, and then condemning another. That is not light and love in the purest sense. That is not higher consciousness. It's an awareness to be kind, but it's not higher consciousness. And we shared that we would speak about higher consciousness on a very profound level. Because ones feel that if one meditates and they chant words, if you will, or they give a blessing to others, that it is higher consciousness and it is higher awareness. It only becomes higher consciousness when one can only speak truth. It only becomes higher consciousness when one would never intentionally hurt another, whether it be through cruelty or just an unkind word. Higher consciousness is compassion at a level so deep that ones would find compassion to the one that created the cruelty. Now, saying that, there is no need for a space of cruelty. There is no need for a space of harsh judgment. This is not in the contrast realm of things, if you will. It is not in the contrast. It is not joy and sorrow, contentment and anger. It is not in the same form. So we ask the question, what would the planet look like if each being was higher consciousness? What would everyone do? And we want to say, create from a space of pure love, compassion, and kindness. Could you imagine the flourishing? Could you imagine the creation? Imagine the time that would be spent creating a world of beauty. Ones are spending their time looking at destruction, starting all over again to rebuild. Imagine a world without destruction. Imagine a world without destruction. And not only destruction to the planet, destruction to others, countries, if you will, the destruction upon one's own being. Imagine if ones would not destroy their beautiful self, meaning would not condemn themselves so much. If every soul held themselves in the greatest light, the purest light in which they truly are. Imagine what would be created. Imagine what would be experienced. Enriching the soil of Mother Earth with all that is good, not taking anything away. In pure nourishment of one another, in pure nourishment of the planet. Think about the magnificent beauty. Do you not think that ones would be bored if they didn't have anything to fix? But they're not fixing, they're creating. It's in the mindset. It would be pure creation, not fixing, not healing, although in the creation there would be healing. The energy vibration of healing would be abundant. The energy vibration in love would be abundant. Oneness. Imagine Imagine the creation. Imagine what ones would share with one another, knowing there would not be condemnation. Imagine if each soul arrived on the realm, knowing of their brilliance, continuing knowing of their brilliance, and creating all they wish to create, without a condemning thought, a condemning word to oneself, from oneself, or from another. Imagine the world as a peaceful planet. Everyone coming together, only wanting the other to be all they are meant to be. Helping, assisting, but not repairing. Being creative with one another. Just ponder it. It's not contrast. There is no need for cruelty. The need is for ones to understand who one truly is underneath layers of human experience, to stop cruelty, to stop harsh judgments, to stop the condemnation. Higher consciousness is where it is at, if you will. Higher consciousness, ponder it. It's not light, fluffy words, light and love. No, it's higher consciousness, where one lives in light and love in the purest sense of who they are. Where was one before they arrived on the planet? Most would agree, living, experiencing light and the pureness of love. Then ones come into physical form, and depending on where one is born, depending on the families, depending on the conditioning, if you will, depending on the house one grows up in, the influence of others. That is the layers that cover up the loving light that is already in one's being. It is who each soul is. So think of coming onto, if you will, into the realm, coming on to live upon the earth of Mother Earth. Feet in the soil, steps to walk. If ones would agree that one was pure consciousness before the arrival, in the grandest, the purest sense of creation, purest sense of light, purest sense of love, and then ones are equipped in physical form, equipped with a physical body. Ones would see that they are encased, if you will, in the physical body. So what if ones came in without the judgment, with the family already living in higher consciousness, with the community already abound with higher consciousness? Imagine if ones came to Mother Earth and all were living in higher consciousness. Would there ever be cruelty? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Now, how do ones become the light that they are, the love that they are, in the grandest sense, in the deepest sense, not the fluffy wording, the deepest sense of who one is? And don't get us wrong, we enjoy the wording light and love. But ones tend to find this pathway and then condemn others for not finding the same pathway. That isn't higher consciousness. That isn't truly even love when one is condemning another, because they're truly condemning themselves. Passing judgment is just allowing another to view one passing judgment. You're not pointing out what the other has wrong, if you will, you are pointing out that you have judgment. Think about it. You're not condemning another. You're truly condemning yourself just in the presence of condemning another. Not being kind towards another. Cutting someone off on the freeway intentionally. Oh, light and love. My parking spot first. Light and love. No. 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 Higher consciousness is pure creation. If you see higher consciousness as a scale or a ladder to keep advancing, if you will, because one's will make a beautiful effort. And if one is making the beautiful effort to be conscious of others, conscious of oneself, conscious of words being said, conscious of condemnation towards oneself, if one is really being mindful, that is the pathway to higher consciousness. And it is of great truth that if one continues to be mindful, understanding that the more love they bring forth, the more compassion they bring forth, the more kindness they bring forth, it just expands into a higher consciousness. Until it is a turning point, if you will, that you cannot live any other way. You cannot live any other way. Higher consciousness, it is yours to hold. Each soul is able to climb those rungs, if you will, if you see it, or if you see it as an expansion of oneself. Truly understand that you were light and love before you arrived to Mother Earth. You're given, if you will, physical form. So think of yourself in case. That is why ones will say, my inner essence, God within, whatever wording is being used. And they will separate the two, my body, my mind, my soul. There's a sense of separation. We talked about the heart space. So if each soul was light in the purest sense of the word, in the purest sense of creation before one arrived, would it not hold true? They still hold who they are. It is in the search of the treasure. It is in the search to bring it forth. That is the purpose. But if ones came in as a higher conscious being, as all are, until others get a hold of them, conditioning starts, condemnation starts, belief systems start, belief systems of separation. Just think about it. And on a very low scale, if you will, imagine coming into the world, not even having the understanding as ones take their steps and they grow, that they are doing better than the neighbor or they are less than the neighbor. Imagine just understanding of the beautiful neighbor without the judgment attached. Think about it. This conversation can go on and on and on. Truly, we wanted to bring forth the topic of cruelty. To prevent cruelty, ones have to become conscious. And if ones understood who they truly are, without the conditioning, without the environment, there would never, ever be hurt to another being. Just ponder it. Ponder, ponder. It isn't contrast. You don't need one to have the other. Cruelty is never needed. It isn't a need. And would the world live well without it? Absolutely, flourishing in brilliance. Think about who you would become if there was never a condemning word. If there was never judgment. Just think of it on a small scale, and then take it to a community, then take it to a city, take it to a country, take it to the world. Just keep thinking about it. If each being lived in the purest sense of who they truly are, it would only be love. And in love is only creation and well-being, flourishing. Just ponder it. Ponder it. So where would you be in your balance? We started it off with the balance. Balancing all things in your world. Where would you be if you lived from the space of knowing of your brilliance? Really good. Find the brilliance within and bring it forth. Find your magnificence of compassion and bring it forth to the highest level that is possible. And each soul can. Each soul is equipped with the love, compassion, and kindness. It came in when one's entered physical form. It does not leave. And when ones depart the planet, if you will, from non-physical to non-physical, most would agree, ones would then become one with the universe, light and love, in the purest sense of the words. So why not bring it forth in physical form? Why not be who you truly are? Why not bring it forth? If it is who you are before physical form, if it is who you are after physical form, why not just live it in physical form? Brilliant question. Why not just live it in physical form? Words to ponder. There is great love for you.